Hello viewers, Super GT here. This is undoubtedly one of the weirdest and most difficult races I have ever done on Gran Turismo, because you are essentially driving a fridge. Now this car, the Chaparral 2J, very peculiar machine, and one that is extremely difficult to drive. This was my opening set of practice laps here. As you can see, ending up in the gravel. That was a common occurrence. Also on the exits of corners, oversteering into the wall, into barrier. Now, I really had to try to turn traction control on here because this car, it is such a handful, but traction wasn't my main problem. Braking was. But anyway, we joined the lobby, and it's like going down the local aisle of your local fridge shop. Do you have a local fridge shop? I don't know if you do. Maybe just your general hardware store, but anyway, on the grid, here we are. There it is. Look at this incredible machine. It's got a freaking air conditioning unit out the back. Maybe it is just a giant aircon unit. That's what we're racing. Let's take a look at this start then. We're at the Sardinia road circuit as we pull away from the back of the pack. Now there's going to be a miscommunication here, and boom, it's taken us barely 13.851 seconds to end up in the wall and find ourselves with a 5-second penalty. Yes, that's right, 5-second penalty for any collision with Barry R. Barry is not feeling, he's not in a good mood. This, oh goodness me, another one. 10-second penalty already. And this is pretty much the worst combination of difficult penalties and a difficult car to drive, because they are going to be dishing out a lot of penalties, trust me. Now, why is this thing so hard to drive? Well, it's from the 70s, back in the Can-Am series, and you know, good luck to anyone that drove this car back then. I'm sure it handled better in reality than it did in this game. In this game, it's got no brakes, it oversteers a ton, doesn't know what it wants to do, and it's just an absolute handful. So someone back there died, another fatality to add to the long list that's going to be seen and witnessed throughout this video. With this left, I've gone into the back of this other guy, another guy facing backwards on the track there. As we head into the final corner, oh my goodness, the Italian straight into the wall, head-on collision, and here we might have the first recorded case of a 10-second penalty being served, and amazingly, look at this, I don't actually get overtaken. Such was, well, the fact that everyone else probably got a penalty as well, and they were slowing down with me. Anyway, progressing on, lap number 2 actually survived the majority of the lap, would you believe, until this turn where I just understeered into the wall. And this is really what happens when you jump into a lobby with about 5 minutes practice, which definitely was not enough. Again, understeer, you really do, oh my goodness, 10 seconds of penalty. It really is just an absolute horror show. And there's another one, oversteering on a corner which isn't really even a corner in a normal car, and that's 15 seconds. And it's almost like I'm doing it deliberately, but I can trust you that I'm just having a really hard time. And here's live footage of me destroying my PlayStation 5 console. And yeah, here we go then. For pure pain, this rate's quite high, probably higher than getting crucified. Serving a 20-second penalty is up there on the scale of true pain, really, isn't it? And it just goes on forever. It really does. 20 seconds when you're serving a penalty is basically 20 years. But eventually, we get away from our prison sentence and continue in P8. 8 out of 9 by this point. The amount of people that have given up. I go on to 5 traction control. Such is the difficulty of this machine. Such is my lack of ability with the fridge, the washing machine, the air conditioning unit, whatever you want to call it. What appliance would you say it most looks like? That's the top question that motorsport enthusiasts want to know. What car does the Chaparral, what kitchen appliance does the Chaparral 2J most resemble? I'd say actually at the back it looks like a it's a weird mix of an aircon unit has had a child with a fridge, and there you go. And then you put an engine on it. Not not the not the first thing I would think of when I'm trying to design a car, but you know, maybe back in the day it was quite fun to drive. Who knows? And if you happen to own one of these cars, and you wouldn't mind letting me have a go, then please do let me know. But anyway, we find ourselves here in P7. Big moment there. Managed to recover the slide into the final turn, and this was a daily race A last week, and it's a 7-lapper. It's actually quite long for a daily race A. As we come through the final corner, the German there recovering from a penalty up into P6, 6th place has been found, and we're going to try and bring this one home in the top 5 perhaps, top 4, quite a long way ahead. In fact, the leader is 43 seconds up the road, and that is quite a tragic display by me, it must be said. I don't really have any excuses here, guys. This is just honestly awful driving. I'm trying to improve my consistency, and I haven't actually crashed for the last lap and a half, which is actually just a divine miracle. And have I spoken too soon? We've actually set a purple sector there. End of lap 6, another purple sector being set. The pace is very, very good right now. Into the wall we go, though. It was too good to be true. Like, there was no way I was going to do more than 2 laps without a penalty. But this one's actually just hotting up now. Because I got that penalty very recently, I'm not going to serve it there, so we've got 1 more lap to go. And this is going to be really interesting here because, oh my goodness, look how close that was. And my life flashed before my eyes there as the barrier wall got closer and closer, pixel by pixel. But we escaped with our life. P7 on lap 7 of 7. But we have 3 cars to try to overtake here, and the issue I have is that I have a 5-second penalty to serve. So I need to try to get these guys to crash, ideally. And that's probably not asking much because it's actually very easy to crash this car. Let's see what these guys do. Oh my god, there he goes. Exit stage left, please, Mr. German. Off he goes. He's in the wall. Probably got himself a 5-second penalty as well. And this combination was just absolutely ridiculous. Another German with a 5-second penalty because of the difficulty of the car. And then the cheek of Polyphony to hand out 5-second penalties for hitting the wall. It was really difficult. It was a really difficult race. And can we possibly get a P4 here up behind the Polish driver, trying to force some sort of error out of him or her? Let's see if they succumb to the pressure as we head into the final corner. It's unlikely by this point, as yeah, they hit the brakes just in time, get through the corner just fine. And okay, I'm going to serve my 5-second penalty, and it's going to be a P5 ultimately. I tried my valiant best, which was absolutely shocking. On a scale of 1 to 10, I mean, can we go into the minus? Oh my goodness. It's not going to be a P5 because I've hit the wall again on the final corner, and we actually get overtaken and finish in P6. And there we go. The 1 minute, 1 whole minute off the lead. And top tragedies of the year. The award for number 1 goes to me, I think, for that race. Anyway, into some qualifying practice here. So I'm trying to set a better lap time to start towards the front of the pack. And it's a car where it's almost like less is more. If you try to drive it on the edge, it's very likely you'll step over the edge and it will attempt to murder you. So you have to kind of drive this car at almost like 70% of your maximum, and that way you won't crash every 5 seconds. Now we've got TCS on 5, and this is the first actual recorded case in my memory of having to drive a car with 5 traction control. Most cars in the game you can drive on 0. Some rare opportunities or some rare cars you'll drive on 1. But here we find ourselves on 5 TCS, Such is the weirdness of this car. Such a weird machine. The way it drives and the way it looks. But I sort of had to try it. I had to give it a go and see what it really was like. And I'm kind of regretting it right now. Anyway, we are rounding out this lap. It looks like we've actually managed to nearly complete a lap. Let's get through this final corner though. Let's not speak too soon. We do get through it. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a clean and semi-fast lap, 128.5, albeit quite a lot of time off of the number one in the world. There's only 8 people entering this race. Such is the lack of popularity for the washing machine. And here we have one of the best motorsport moments of all time, because you see Barbie comes flying through in the pink machine and goes from 4th and looks up the inside into turn 1. But the German comes out of nowhere and says, "No thank you, off you go. You can both go very wide." So it was looking really amazing there for Barbie for just a split second before this German came in and said, "I don't think so. I'm the actual GOAT here. I'm the washing machine number 1, and I'm going to be taking the lead, thank you very much." The Hot Point factory driver there, out in the lead, just showing us how to truly control this absolute monster. Not like that. Oh my goodness. And I've reached... Oh, there's someone else who's joined me in the Shadow Realm. And we've gone down to P4 a little bit later on in the race. In fact, 1 lap later. See, the sun's come out. So there's room for optimism here. As we pull away, that guy's still serving his penalty, but we're coming up to challenge Barbie for P2. Captain Cush, 1, 2, 3. And we go flying past the pink machine on the outside as we head towards turn 1. Look for our braking reference mark, about 150. Heading into the corner, he's on the inside, or she's on the inside, is Barbie. And we managed to get the job done. Sensational overtake, sensational racing really, between Super GT and Barbie in a washing machine. I mean, that's a sentence I never thought I'd say, but here we are. And just absolutely incredible scenes. If that doesn't earn a like and a subscribe, then I just don't know what will. Nothing will really, will it? Eventually setting the fastest lap of the race. I was slowly getting used to this car, 29.5, and the pace and the feel was slowly getting to me. The next lap around, improving by a couple of tenths to a 29.1, and then the next lap 28.6, so getting faster and faster. The next lap not as quick, but we did manage to bring home P2, albeit 22 seconds off the lead. But we're going to jump into the final race of the video, and this one had a fair amount of drama, but then again they all did. As we head towards turn 1, whacking on 4 traction control, just any amount now. As we head down towards the first corner, trying to keep it pinned on the inside, up behind Rocard, who was on pole position and is darting about. Now, I've had a fair amount of lag in my recent videos, and that's because I accidentally left my internet on Wi-Fi, so my PS5 was connected through Wi-Fi, which is not as good. So I've connected it back up with a wire, and it should be a lot better from now on. The reason for that was the GT Sport video. To play on GT Sport, I had to have it on Wi-Fi. For some reason, it would not work on the wired connection, and I forgot to change it back. But that is completely besides the point here, because we are engaged in an incredible battle here with Rocard. As we, in fact, well, I don't know what he did there. It looked like he pulled up the handbrake and thought, I'm just going to slide to the left, turn this into a bit of gymkhana. And before you know it here, I found myself in the lead of the race. And I've kind of, it's one of those situations where you realise, or you wonder, how on earth has that happened? How have I got here, out of all places? Me in the lead of this race. When you consider how bad I've been throughout the course of the first 2 races of this video, it really is quite a miracle that this has happened. And we only have 6 more laps. I say only, but even 6 corners in this car is hard enough. And I fail at pretty much the first corner by braking just about 10 metres too late. and surrendering the lead. Going back down to third, almost losing control as I tried to recover back to the circuit. Now, end of lap number 3 in P3, but not for long. Guy in front there, unforced error, and says hello to Barry R. Barry R, what a popular guy. Everyone loves him these days. And there was only 6 of us left by this point at the end of lap 7. And start of lap 7, I managed to lap the guy in P6. I actually felt quite sorry for them, if I'm being completely honest. But fair play to that person for staying in and bringing it home to the very end, even if they were a lap down. And eventually I lost to the Hot Point factory driver, Rocard, who was just simply too quick. Obviously, he uses only the best cleaning agents in his washing machine, which makes it go a lot faster. Calgon, I think it is. I think that's what he was telling me. But that's the end of this one. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for making it through to the end. There's another video on the screen. Have a nice day. I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.